Season 24 is upon us, the penultimate season of our Building a Nation save, and we have one objective between now and the end of Season 25, and that is to win the Champions League. That is what I want to do again. I've won it once. We won it back in Season 21 in 2043, 44, and I want to win it again in 46, 47 or 47, 48. If we can win the Champions League one more time, I will be a very happy boy. Obviously, this season, we are just fighting on the four fronts that we normally fight on. We've got no special cups, no Club World Championships, no UEFA Super Cups and all that nonsense. It's just the four competitions that we are going for. And obviously, the Champions League is the big one. I want to be able to win this. One thing that I have noticed as well, in the last couple of seasons, obviously, we're doing really well in Europe. Our club is actually rising in reputation. We are way, way up now. I mean, I don't know why there's no number on the side, but we are up there in maybe the top 30 clubs in the world? And if we don't jump to Europe, I think there was maybe 4 Argentine sides that were ahead of us, so we've moved up a little bit further. It's definitely too much to ask, but if we can get maybe top 10, if we can kind of get within this kind of area, I will be very happy as well. That will be pretty handy. I've just seen that there's a coefficients thing, and we are 7th. When it comes to coefficients. Is this a thing? We're 14th over the last 10 years, which is used for revenue, apparently. But we are 7th over the last 5 years, which I don't know what that means. But I imagine, obviously, we've got some big numbers in there from decent Champions League runs. Another couple of 30s in there, and we might actually be the best team in Europe when it comes to club coefficients, whatever that means. Obviously, being the 1st of July, or the 4th of July in this instance, Martin Soderberg is our only player joining and leaving the club so far. He has joined from Malmo, a 27-year-old striker, 4 caps to his name. For £2.8 million, he's come in to basically add a bit more depth. Ignore the fact that I've given him an important player contract, because he's not an important player. That's Tom Davidson, who, by the way, is utterly ridiculous. For the rest of the transfer window, we have got about £70 million to spend, and I'm thinking we're going to try and spend a large chunk of this money. I want to turn this team into a very, very good side that when it comes to European football, we are not struggling. We are going through the top 8 of the Champions League every single season, and that's kind of my goal. So I expect that 70 million might drop down to around 10, 15, or even 0, or just under £63.5 million. But we have spent money. Okay, we've spent money, we've also brought in a fair amount of money. There might have been some minimum fee release clauses that got triggered that we didn't want to get triggered, but there you are. For £77 million, Kjell Bertelsen has left the club and he's gone over to Watford for £77 million, which was his minimum fee release clause. It got triggered, there was nothing we could do about it, and obviously he wants to go play in England because it's a much nicer place to be, apparently. I'm not too convinced about Watford, but there we are. It's annoying, but it's fine because we've kind of reinvested the money because we've brought in £130 million worth of sales and then we've spent about 105 or so. Luciano has also left the club. He's gone over to Saudi Arabia because we brought in the Swedish striker earlier on in the summer. We could kind of cash in on Luciano for 20 million, potentially going to £25 million. Yes, he's played well over the last couple of seasons, but Tom Davidson's our number one. Luciano's just going to get annoyed that he's not getting game time anymore. Fabrice Mabraga has also left the club. He's gone over to Saudi Arabia for £19 million, potentially going up to £24 million. Obviously, a massive, massive bit of profit there. But we are going to stick with our Japanese goalkeeper for our number one for the next 2 seasons because I've got some faith in him. We've also sold Fellaini Mariba. He has also gone over to Saudi Arabia. Al Tawoon picked this guy up for 10.75, potentially going up to £11.75 million. We literally loaned him out and then sold him for stupid money, so I'm okay with that. 4 players worth mentioning joining the club. We've also got a whole load of youth players as well that I've picked up to try and loan out. We'll get to them in a minute. Goran Nikolic is first up, signed on a free transfer from FC Copenhagen. I think he was part of their massive golden generation they had a few years ago, so we went back there because obviously it's worked out quite well. And a free transfer for Nikolic, pretty decent, and he's versatile as well. For £7.75 million, we picked up Eduardo. Now, yes, technically he's one for the future, but he's cost a fair amount of money, so I thought we'd mention him right now. I want to loan him out to somebody else in Romania, because he needs some game time. He's only 18. For potentially up to £26.5 million, we've signed 31-year-old Romanian international central defender with 91 caps to his name, Marius Prisicanu, might be his name, from Roma. He spent a lot of time over in Italy, getting 319 league appearances, 22.5 up front, potentially going to £26.5 million. I brought him in because he's Romanian, okay? He's good, and he's Romanian. We kind of need that for registration purposes. And we have another returning face to our FC Voluntari side. Josip Luis Montandas has returned after about 6 seasons playing for Everton. They brought him in, he played a lot of football the first couple of years, and then he just started to die out. Wasn't getting much game time. In fact, getting very little game time in the 2044-45 season and the next season as well. Yes, £75 million is very, very steep, but he scored 7 goals and got 4 assists so far in 10 league games. I think it might be justified. You can judge me on this one at the end of this season to see how well he's done. We've also brought in lots of players from our feeder clubs. Now, I've kind of not really been kind of paying too much attention to what's going on in those clubs, but I thought, you know what, let's jump over, have a look. We've spent maybe £5 million, probably like 2 million actually, because I can't be bothered to add them up. It's about £2 million on all these players. So, Mohamed Sarr, first up, Senegalese right winger from Generation Foot. Mamadou JJ, who is an Ivorian central midfielder who's come from ASEC Mimosas. Demboul Mbo, who has come from Generation Foot, 22-year-old central midfielder from Senegal. He's probably one of the better ones right now, although he's not good enough to play for our first team. Axel Fofana, a 20-year-old Ivorian goalkeeper from ASEC Mimosas, who's actually going to get registered for the first team this season because he's probably our number 2 or number 3 goalkeeper. Jacob Decore is an Ivorian central midfielder and attacking midfielder from ASEC Mimosas. Bainiang has signed from Generation Foot, a Senegalese right back and right winger. And Karim Samake is an Ivorian right back, right winger, maybe a left back as well, with 1 cap to his name coming from ASEC Mimosas. So we brought in all of those players. They're all on the development list, hopefully going to get loaned out at some point. Obviously, none of them have gone out on loan, which is frustrating. I say none of them, a couple of them have, but most of them are still at the club, which is kind of annoying. But we've got January as well that they might be able to go out on loan. And if we look as well, we'll sort by fee here. I didn't mention everyone who's left, because we have sold some other players to other teams in Romania. So this guy, who I think I brought like 2 years ago, didn't buy him too long ago. We've sold him for a massive loss, but he's now going to get game time and hopefully get better. He was never going to play for us. We're keeping him in Romania. That was kind of the goal with that one. Davide Apollini has gone to U Cluj, which we brought him in, sold him, brought him back, sold him, and then he's now at U Cluj. So hopefully get some game time. He's in the first league. He's coming off the bench by the looks of it, but he's still reasonably young. 27, he's got plenty of time to develop. Bekim Sadiku, a player that we signed last season as well, I think. He's gone out already at signing for CFR Cluj on a permanent deal. Zlot Rax, another player we signed last season or maybe the season before. He's gone to FCSB on a permanent deal. Basari Koulibaly, a player that we signed from the academy JMG Mali, has left, signing for FC Arges on a permanent deal. A lot of these players, I am definitely taking a hit on profit purely because I want them in the club and in the country so then I can get them playing for other teams in Romania and making them better. We've also got Stanchu, who's left. He's gone to that team. I can't remember their name. And Dragos Dobra just did not want to sign a new contract and he's gone on loan to Hermannstad from Lyon, apparently, which is fair enough. And then a whole bunch of normal loan deals that we always do every single season. So far, of the 4 competitions that we are in, we have won the Romanian Super Cup. We are currently top of the Romanian First League by a ridiculous distance, because we always are, but we have played one more game over everybody else, bar Sepsi down in 10th place, but we are top of the table. Champions League, we should be finishing top 8. We should be finishing top 8. That's our goal. Romanian Cup, we want to be winning that every single year. From a formation perspective, we are locking in 2 players. We are locking in Scuglia in that central defensive role because, like I said, I think the last couple of seasons, they want to play him as a defensive midfielder. I want to play him as a centre-back, so we kind of need to lock him in place. And a Yamamoto will be our number 1 goalkeeper for the season. And so far, he started off all right. 5 clean sheets in 10 league games. It is a baptism of fire for Yamamoto, because I don't think he's necessarily ready for first team football, but we're going to try it anyway. He's going to be our number 1 this year and next year, so we're not going to have any more goalkeepers probably, unless he gets really badly injured. And that's all we're locking in. That is all we're locking in. I was tempted to lock in Montandas on this left-hand side, but I thought, you know what? Probably what they will do anyway, if everyone is fit, is play that. I imagine that's what they're going to play if everyone's fit anyway, so I'm not going to lock them in. It's a risk not putting Davison in, because they might play Soderberg, they might play Carlos, they probably won't play Marengo. Right, let's jump forward then to just before Christmas to see how well we've kicked off the start of the season. And I'm just keeping an eye on the Champions League. That's my objective this year, win the Champions League again. First things first, the Romanian First League is looking worryingly tight. There is only 3 points between us and second place Rapid, which is good. And there is only, 7 points between us and third place CFR Cluj, which is good. It means that, Yes, we have started to lose more games this season for some reason, but they are kind of closing the gap. They are also becoming stronger sides, which I like to see. In the Champions League, we're currently sat 10th place, which is not ideal, but we have won some very good games comfortably as well. Augsburg, Dinamo, and Sevilla. A draw with Man City, that is a very good draw. And 2 defeats against Leipzig and PSG, which you can kind of expect the PSG one. Leipzig, I would have thought we were good enough to win that, but apparently not. And I know we're barely halfway through the season. In fact, I don't even think we are halfway through the season. We've got 4 players who've scored double figures. McLennan has 12 in 26 starts already. Davison has 18 in 14 starts. So I'm not even convinced he's our number 1 striker. He's picked up an injury as well. So I think he is our number 1 striker, but he keeps getting subbed off. And then obviously the injury against Man City, it's kind of caused some issues, but he's back looking like he's maybe going to start the next game after the January break, which is fair enough. Toft Christiansen has 20 goals in 24 in all competitions. Are you playing on the right? You are mainly. You're actually kind of jumping between the left and the right. Fair enough. And £75 million man, Luis Montandas, has 21 in 27. I imagine you've been on the left and then starting up front kind of since the injury to Davidson, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Montandas, I think, is justifying his £75 million price tag, okay? And by the way, that £75 million, divide it in half, because we did have a 50% sell-on in there. So yes, it's big numbers. £75 million is massive, but we didn't technically pay 75. We got half of it back. So we're about to jump to the other side of the January transfer window. We got 65, nearly £66 million to spend. I think we need to do a bit more investing. I don't know what we're going to do. If we take a look at our best 11, centre-back, maybe we need a centre-back. I think we probably do need a centre-back because Priscanu might be his name. Whilst he's good in Romanian, we can probably do better. So maybe that's where we look to invest. I don't think we want to do too much investing though. He says that he spends nearly £40 million. First of all, returning to the club is Ayanda Malewa. I brought him back purely because he's gone to Borussia Dortmund for a stupid money, which we got half of that, by the way, and then not played a game. And then they transfer listed him for £3.1 million. And I went, you know what? Come back to the club. I'll try and loan you out. I've got no intentions of ever playing Malewa. He's cost a little bit of money, but not a lot. It's just nice to have him back here, to be honest. He won't be too happy because he's come in as a squad player and he probably won't play a game. For £3 million, we brought in a backup goalkeeper. Notice I say backup goalkeeper despite the fact that he's probably better than Yamamoto. Mikel Angel has come in as a first-choice goalkeeper, which is a bold-faced lie. He's not going to be our first choice. He's going to sit on the subs bench and maybe play if Yamamoto's away at the Asian Cup, which is what he is currently doing. For £1.6 million, Owen Fortes, a 17-year-old Dutch centre-back signed from Ajax, has immediately gone back on loan to Ajax. He's one for the future, and I know you might be thinking, what you're doing, signing players for the future, you're ending next year. I'm probably going to do like a 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, so still wanting to bring these players in. I don't want to just have a dead end at the end of season 25, so we're still bringing in decent ones for the future as well. For too much money, for I think £21 million, Kale Kalina, a 29-year-old Croatian defender who can play all across the back, has come to the club. He's been brought in basically to be a bit of a backup. However, there was intentions to sell someone, and he was the replacement, and the sell didn't go through. East Van Gaal had offers of nearly £100 million, which I accepted. I can't remember who from now. I think it was like an Arsenal or something like that. And he did not want to go to them. He was like, no, I'm happy playing for FC Voluntari. So I brought in Kalina to replace Gaal, and I didn't need to do it in the end. So we've just bought a Croatian for stupid amounts of money that we didn't need. Someone that we did need, however, is Alan Kardec, a 23-year-old Brazilian international with one cap to his name, signed for £13.5 million, which is an absolute bargain. He had some other clubs sniffing around. I think that was his minimum fee release anyway, so we had to give him a lot higher of a contract than what he asked for. I think he only asked for 25. We gave him 54 because you had lots of Premier League sides wanting to sign Alan Kardec, and he's very, very good. I think he probably does slot straight into one of our best centre-back roles. So Skuglia and Kardec are now our 2 best centre-backs, which is always nice to see. And from a competition perspective, we are still top of the Romanian First League, 10 points clear now, which is good. In the Champions League, we are through to the knockout playoff round, which means we did just miss out on goals. 1 goal, but we picked up 5 wins. That's huge. 5 wins out of 8 is absolutely massive. Beating Juve is a very big win as well. Drawing against Man City, we know Leipzig and PSG. Losing to PSG, not ideal, but there we are. Annoyingly, if we scroll down, 31st place is FCSB. So, looks like the other Romanian sides, or side, I believe we only have 1 now in the Champions League, have been knocked out. But we are up against Roma in the knockout playoff round, which I think we should be good enough to win that. So I'm hoping we can get through the knockout playoff round. Hopefully we can get through the round of 16 as well. Quarterfinal, semi-final and final. There's 5 rounds of football to play in the Champions League, and I'm kind of crossing my fingers that we can do well. I don't know whether we're going to win it again. It's now the 17th of March, and the regular season has finished, and this was the last match of the regular season of Season 24. It was a 10-1 victory. We went 1-0 down as well after 6 minutes. It is our biggest victory ever. Davidson scoring 6 goals, which is our highest amount of goals scored in any one match by a single player as well. You're seeing goals and assists from, Kipyajon, or whatever his bloody name is. It's a weird name. I'm not quite sure how to say it. He's been ridiculous for us. Yes, he's not scoring goals, but he's in double figures for assists both seasons. We've smashed our top goal scoring, our best result record ever. We've beaten Roma twice. We've beaten Arsenal twice as well in the Champions League. So we are through to the round of 16. No, we're not. We're through to the quarterfinals, aren't we? We are through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And obviously, we are through to the Romanian First League Champions playoff, where we are currently top by 6 points. Could we win the quadruple? It's possible, right? It's possible. The Champions League's the tough one. We can win the Romanian Cup. We can win the Romanian First League. We can win the Romanian Super Cup. Last time when we won the Champions League, I think we slipped up in the Romanian Cup, if I'm not mistaken. So without further ado, then, let's jump to the 1st of June to see what is going on. To the end of the season, we'll see what's happened in all the competitions. So at midnight on the 1st of June, we've not played the Champions League final, and we're in it. On the 1st of June, the Champions League final between FC Voluntari and Man City take place. We've won the Romanian Cup. We've won the Romanian First League. So what happened in the Romanian Cup? We beat FCSB 2-0 in the final. In the Romanian First League, we win by a comfortable distance. We do most seasons. So 61 points in that one. How many times have we won this now in a row? That's ridiculous. That's not even included this year that's just gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a row we have won the Romanian First League. And we're in the Champions League final. We can win the quadruple. Man City are a very good side, however. If we sort by wages, £400,000 a week this man's on. Yeah, he's good, isn't he? He's good at football. Daniel Tapia, I'm pretty sure we looked at him last episode. He's pretty good. I'm tempted to maybe put in a bid. Like £15 million. He's got a year left on his contract. £15 million. For a year, he'll be alright, won't he? For the last final season? They're a good side, aren't they? Their cheapest player, who's arguably in their kind of starting 11s, this guy. Well, not the starting 11s, on the subs bench. Daniel Tapia's their cheapest, and he's ridiculous. I'm not holding out much hope. However, they're also managed by Flynn Downs. Okay, fair enough. Flynn Downs, manager of Manchester City. I'm not holding out much hope. Particularly when we've played them 9 times, and we have beaten them twice. We have beaten them twice. One of them was reasonably recent. It was a 5-1 win. And then the other one was basically half a decade ago. So that one's kind of irrelevant, isn't it? The fact that we beat them 5-1 was a very good performance. A lot of these players are kind of maybe still at the club. It's annoying because I was hoping we'd come back after the Champions League final is finished. Now there's a lot of pressure on us to actually win it because we know we're in the thing. I want to have a look as well. Have we got any injuries? We've got 1 injury to Sima, which is kind of annoying, but it's fine. He's a defensive midfielder, which if we sort by position and role, we've got 4 players who can play. They're 5 players technically, although Malay were also currently out injured. So we're probably going to have Whitbread and Ag playing in that DM role, which is fine. I guess we're going to jump forward then, just a day to the other side of the Champions League final. Saturday, the 1st of June at 2047, FC Voluntari lift the Champions League for a second time in their history. A 4-3 win. What happened in this match? We battered them. We absolutely battered them. We were 4-1 up after 47 minutes and then nearly threw it away. Davidson from the penalty spot, McLennan, Davidson again, and old Johnny Boy in left back also getting a goal. Basically, the winning goal was scored by our American left back. What's happened? How have we won the Champions League twice? I'm kind of in shock, but I feel like I shouldn't be. When you look at some of our players, like your Montandas, who, by the way, top goal scorer for us this season with 37 goals in all competitions and 13 assists. We are a good side. McLennan, 22 goals, 21 assists. He's one of the best footballers in the world. Andre Stinger, He's very, very fast. He can't header a ball, but you don't need him to do that from the right wing. He's got 13 and 10. Mansa Ag as well, he's played pretty well. 11 goals, 9 assists. So we don't seem to have a huge amount of goal scorers by the looks of it. He's not the top goal scorer. We were scrolled down. Oh my word. Toft Christiansen, 38 and 22. And then Tom Davidson, 50 goals. 30 goals in the league, 14 in the Champions League, 6 in the Romanian Cup. Just the 4 assists. He's nearly scored a goal a game. He's literally 7 goals away from scoring a goal a game in 105 appearances. What is happening with Tom Davidson? When you look at the assists as well, we've got Simic, he's up there, 13 assists in just 13 starts in all competitions, 18 off the bench, now 23 years of age. We've got Sima, who we've kind of just had a look at. He's good, isn't he? 10 and 16 assists. Johnny Boy, 19 assists and 4 goals. Istvan Gal, 19 assists and 3 goals. McLennan we've seen with his 21. Christiansen with 22 as well. Yamamoto, in his debut season, literally force played him for a whole year at 20 years of age. Arguably not good enough. He's won a Champions League. And not only have we won the Champions League, we've won the quadruple. We've actually won the quadruple. How many teams win every competition, including the main European one? I mean, arguably probably some of the Spanish ones, let's be honest, they normally do. But still, we, little old Voluntari from Romania, have won the Romanian First League, the Romanian Cup, the Romanian Super Cup, which I care about this competition for some reason, and the Champions League. And what does that mean for coefficients? It means we drop. What? We've won the Champions League and we've dropped down to 8th. What's happened? A 12.417. Did everyone else in Romania just not bother playing football? And we're the only team that did. We've won the Champions League and we've dropped below Portugal and the Netherlands. Sometimes, when you're doing a building a nation save, you're kind of the only one in this fight. And I feel like, with Voluntari, we are the only one in this fight. We've got one more season to go, and I imagine we're going to have 5 competitions. Could we do the unthinkable and win all 5? Probably not. Let's be honest, probably not. If we can win the Champions League for a 3rd time, back-to-back Champions Leagues could be pretty impressive. Thanks for watching Season 24. I'll be back for the final season with FC Voluntari. I'll see you then.